Well, if you follow my Instagram, you will notice a bit of a difference from that video to this one. And you will also notice that there are nowhere near as many turkeys out here today as there were yesterday. Of course, they're all going to sleep. They were all playing and having fun until I started this video. But they're all curling up in the sun to sleep. So I made a mistake. I made a big mistake, and it cost 2 of my turkey poults their lives, and possibly a third one. Still hanging in there, so we'll see. My mistake was that I rushed bringing the black Spanish out with the chocolate turkeys. The chocolate turkeys are 2 weeks older than the black Spanish, and 2 weeks makes a huge difference. It does. It makes a humongous difference. I knew we were getting a storm yesterday, and I knew it was going to be bad. I just did not, there's really no way to predict how bad a storm is going to be. And it wasn't necessarily the storm itself that was bad. What was bad was the wind. The wind is what did us in. I put the bottom half of a saddle rack, which I can actually show you, in here as a roost. I knew the chocolates could fly up on it. I assumed, and that was my first mistake. Well, actually second after putting the black Spanish out here. I assumed the black turkeys could fly up to it as well. They could not. And that caused a huge issue because they could not escape the cold, wet rain and the wind. I went to check on the chicks first, thinking that they'd be absolutely fine because, this is the side of the shed where the chickens are at. The door is on that side, and then the brooder is all the way on this side in the far corner. The brooder had water in it. It was wet, and some of the chicks were wet. So I had to clean that out and dry the chicks off. And then I realized that if the chicks were wet, the turkeys were probably in trouble, and they were. When I came out here, there was standing water on the bottom. The chocolates were pretty dry. There were 8 of the 15 black Spanish laying on their backs and some of their heads were in water, standing water. It was not something that I want to see again. I grabbed all of them. I just started grabbing turkeys left and right and racing as much as I could with, this clay out here, muddy clay, rushed them to the brooder and put everybody in. I even took the chocolates in, even though they were fine. Though, this chocolate's coloring is way off, and I think it's my only hen. So hopefully, when she molts, her colors will come in correctly. If not, then I need a new breeding hen. So, yeah, I rushed everybody in. One of the blacks was dead. It was stiff. There was no denying it was dead. 7 others were close to death or dying. It was hard to tell because they were all so cold. I had to fight the heat lamp to get it to work because it's plugged into an outdoor GFI outlet, and it kept tripping the outlet. Eventually I got it dry enough where it stopped doing that, but it took a lot of running back and forth between the outlet and the heat lamp and trying to get everybody warm and dried off. I had, after about an hour, I think, it was obvious one of the others was dead. So that was 2 dead at that point. And one of the toms, I'm fairly certain it's a tom, was actually trying to stand up and move. And was starting to make the noises that they're making right now. I was out here at midnight, 1 a.m. I don't remember what time my son got home from work. It was shortly after he got home. I think I did one more run out there. So, by that point in time, ooh, this is her first time going up there. Let's see if she makes it. By that point in time, 2 of the turkeys were actually up and moving and left the little bin I put them in. I had to put them in I basically put them in a horse feeding dish under the heat lamp to keep the other turkeys and chicks from attacking them. Poultry, they're not nice to sick flock mates, you know, survival of the fittest. I made a new word. Survival of the fittest. So they were basically trying to get rid of them. So I had to protect them and block the rest of them, the turkeys and chicks, from attacking the sick ones. Well, he's figured it out. She's still working on it. I think it's a him. I honestly think this is my only chocolate hen, and I'm hoping her feathers change. If not, then that's quite a disappointment, because this is supposed to be a breeding pair I'm getting from these guys. Yeah, so by the end of the night, all of them had, except one, had recovered enough that I could put them back in with the rest so they could drink water and eat. So I ended up with 2 dead out of the 8 that were having issues. 1 is moving and cheeping and alive, but it's very lethargic. So, and I have a feeling that was the one that had its head in the water, had its head in a puddle. So I'm watching for pneumonia on that one. I'll probably go get some rescue remedy from the store and give it to all of them just to be safe. You can't eat the staple, you silly thing. So, learn from my mistakes. Do not rush taking your turkeys out, no matter how full your brooder is. And if you do, make sure that you set it up correctly. Which, if you notice, I added this part of a pallet so they can get off the wet ground. And then I added 2 buckets upside down so that any low flyers could get up off the wet ground. And yeah, so far these guys have figured it out, and they're gonna stay out even with the rain tomorrow. They're gonna stay out because they were fine. They really weren't in having any issues at all. But we'll see how the Black Spanish do. If you want to follow their progress, you know, just subscribe, like, all that fun stuff, and we'll see. I think I want to name that one Tony Hawk. Jeez. Just slid all the way down there. I could honestly just stand here and watch these guys for a long time. It's kind of peaceful. Have a good day.